Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Won't Be Forgetting That podcast. I'm your host, Seb Muirhead, and this is a podcast talking all about the most awkward and cringeworthy and embarrassing experiences of people working in the entertainment industry. We have our very first guest as well here, a actor, a producer, and an animal enthusiast, Sally Cheng.
Hello. Hi.
Thank
Nice
you
to
very
see you.
much. Oh, nice to see you as well. Thanks for coming on and stumbling through this podcast with me. to
Yes,
start off
literally
with.
stumbling through your front door.
Yes, so we had a little bit of an awkward thing to start off with. We won't get into it just now, but yes, we both turned up at each other's places without each other, so that was a bit awkward. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself to start with, Sally?
Sure. I am an actor, sometimes producer, and sometimes costume designer, which I don't really do that much
Anymore?
anymore.
Yeah. You started off in costuming though, right?
I did. I started off in the costume department because I thought that's what I wanted to do. And then I actually realized that crew work is really hard.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, crew work is so hard. And then when I sort of thought I'd explore acting and I really, really love it. It was something that I wanted to do for a long time. I just couldn't admit it.
And you get treated a lot nicer as well, I'm going to be
You
honest
do.
with you. Yeah.
You do.
So I myself am an actor as well, and I've recently made the move into stunt work, and that is considered crew, and my God, you work a lot harder and a lot longer hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone listening to this and you're deciding what you want to be an actor.
Yeah.
You won't work 13 months of the year, but you'll get treated a lot nicer when you actually do.
That's true.
So the point of this podcast is to try and relieve ourselves of these embarrassing stories, which we all wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and swirl around our heads and forever think that everybody that's ever met us remembers these stories about us, but we're probably the only ones that do. So being actors ourselves, I'm sure there's 1 million audition stories. I'll start with one as well. How about that?
Yes, start us off.
I've got far too many audition stories myself, but I suppose one of the more embarrassing ones was for a certain, I won't name names, but for a certain company in Melbourne that does Shakespeare. Yes, so you can work that out if you want. And look, I'm not the biggest Shakespeare head out there as well, so I'm not, I know this is a horrible thing to say, I'm not in love with his works, so yeah, my apologies if you've stopped listening already.
I'm going to have to completely agree with you there because, yeah, I don't know. It's old English language, and I appreciate his
Yes,
work.
I'll say that as well so that people don't come after me. I appreciate
Yeah.
it as well, but it's just not for me, and that's totally fine. If you love it,
Yeah,
I can
I
understand
agree.
it. But I was going for this audition, so the lines were in my head, but I wasn't fully relating to them, let's say. And yeah, let's say the night before I had eaten something which had not agreed with me.
Oh, no.
Yes, so very fun. I turned up to the audition and be like, all right, I'll turn up a little bit early. I'll use their bathroom. It'll be fine. I'll go in there. Turned up, didn't have any bathrooms at the audition space. So
Oh, no.
I sat in the waiting room, made the polite
my
chit chat with
God.
everyone for about 10 minutes, went
my
inside
God.
and was sweating so much.
Oh, my God.
There was like 4 people on the panel, 2 of which I knew. One of them had actually seen me in a previous play, which was really lucky because, yeah, this audition didn't do so well. So I was in there clenching.
Clenching your heart out.
Yeah, heart. That's the organ that I was thinking of. I got into it, the first 2 lines in, and I just completely blanked, and I was sweating so much. And then I started getting that tremor in my voice, and I was like, look, just get through the audition and don't shit your pants.
Oh, my God.
So I just went through it, stumbled through it. I'd had to take the lines out. It was awful. And then I had to prepare a song as well. And I am not
Oh, my
a singer.
God.
And it was awful. I was frozen, and they were like, really try and perform it like you're having fun. And I was like, I don't know if I can move.
Yeah.
Like, I was standing still. And then they were like, we'll do a little bit of improv. And by that point afterwards, I was like, my God, this is awful. The audition finished. They were super nice. Since then, I have spoken to the director, and like, he's offered me work in different things as well, which is super, super
that's
nice. But my
nice.
God, I left there so quickly and went to the closest McDonald's. So yeah, I don't
That
know
sounds horrific.
if I want that out there. But yeah, there we go. So if you can please relieve that story, because now I'm going to be sitting up all night thinking about telling the story as well as that story. So yes, Sally.
I don't think any of my stories are as that bad.
You haven't shit your pants in anything?
No,
Oh
I
my
haven't.
God. Fuck. All right. Well, we're restarting this
luckily.
podcast.
Well, I mean, I have felt moments of desperation, but usually as a crew member. So I've never had to pretend in front of a camera or a bunch of people that I'm okay. People usually just ignore you, and then
that is a nice part of being, well, not a nice part, but a different part of being crew a lot of the time is that you can kind of slink away and not all eyes are on you. So not everybody in an audition or whilst you're in front of cameras watching you and being like, better not fuck up. I've got fucking 5 p.m. I need to be out of here by fucking these lines right. Yeah.
But as a costume assistant, I've had to make a lot of cock socks.
Oh my God. Yes, my apologies. Please continue. I'm always interested in, firstly, how you make them. Is there a one size fits all?
Well, there's a little joke in the costume department that there's no such thing as a size small. You start with a large, extra large, and extra, extra large.
You would do very well in marketing, I think, yes. Oh, well, that was weird. They gave me a medium last time I wore one, so...
Oh, I'm so sorry. They must have...
They are, for anyone that doesn't know, why don't you tell us, actually, Sally, what are these elusive cock socks?
So anytime that you see a nudity scene or a sex scene, usually the male nude is wearing some sort of flesh-coloured covering, a material covering that goes over their cock, penis,
a pouch,
dick,
usually.
Willy,
yeah. Oh no, we can continue.
Johnson.
Yes, I would like to get this monetized at one point, but we can continue with these synonyms for cock. Yes.
Yeah. And there's different ways of making it. You can get like a little jelly bean sack thing with a double-sided tape on the top, so it just sticks on.
Oh, I've never had the tape before.
Right. And then there's also the drawstring kind.
I've had the drawstring, which exclusively never stays on. I don't know why they make those. They are the most uncomfortable things ever. And as soon as you start jostling around, they come off.
I agree. I was on set where somebody else had made the drawstring one, and the poor actor, he had to, just kind of like try to keep it on. Because I obviously can't go into fix costume in that moment.
So that was another question. Where does your job end in that respect? And the actor has to take on their own responsibility for their piece of wardrobe.
So usually on a closed set, for example, in that instance, it was a sex scene, and just for context, the female actress, she had a seamless underpants, so it was like a taped on G-string, so there's no string on the
glamorous,
side.
Yes,
it's so glamorous. And my job was to stay in the room and then to just monitor if his cock sock starts to slip down, then I just sort of mention it.
Do you stay, I mean, like, I don't know if you want to talk about it in depth, but do you stay staring at it then? Or
no, like I usually hide, and then I think I've glanced a couple of times, and sometimes I'll watch the monitor off of the camera, because obviously it's not big enough of a room to have a video split in there. So sometimes I'll just watch what's happening on the screen a bit, and like everything's fine. But actually, because it's a cocksock, you can't see it, right? So it's mainly for comfort.
For modesty, which I've
modesty.
personally done a couple of implied nudity scenes before. And it's nice to not have everything on show, but my God, you feel exposed regardless.
yeah, completely exposed.
Yeah, and again, it's that kind of thing as well, where I've never done the double-sided tape, so I presume they apply that themselves as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Cool.
No one in costume will help you with a cocksock.
And that is like I think a big misconception as well. Like, especially now, sets are very safe with all this kind of stuff as well. It's very nice. There's strict guidelines. Intimacy coordinators are way more prevalent now, which is
awesome.
So good for cast and crew.
Yes.
But some of the stuff is, I feel, horrible for. As like from the acting side of it, I've had to have a couple of makeup artists covering up the occasional red mark on a buttock or an inside thigh, and it's, I mean, I feel worse for them than I think they feel bad for me, I presume, as well. But it's never a comfortable situation. both be polite and you're both
Yeah.
laugh and try and have a little joke as well. But I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that feel comfortable with it, but I am not there yet. And yeah, as far as the wardrobe and costuming stuff goes, can I ask another question as well?
Yes,
Do you get them
absolutely.
back at the end of the day, wash them and reuse them?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, we
All
don't
right.
reuse them. It's kind of like underwear. It's, you can keep them or it just goes in the bin.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a job once. I was wearing a white Speedo. It was for a biopic of Olivia Newton-John's. We were recreating the scene from Let's Get Physical, the music video. I was one of the guys in the Speedos. And they called me up the night before and asked if I had a flesh-coloured thong, which I didn't, which I now have lots of because of this. So I wore that the next day when Costume gave it to me, and I was like, well, this is weird or whatever, and I just presumed I'd get to keep it. And then at the end of the shoot, they asked me to put it in a little sealable bag so that they could wash it. And I hope to God it was either not worn before me or not worn again after me, because... yeah, that's not a comfortable thing.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, the jobs that I've been on, usually socks will get reworn, socks will get washed and reworn, but
That's
usually...
feet socks for anyone listening as well, I
Yes,
presume.
that's
Yes,
correct,
All right.
yes.
Feet socks,
Good
the
to
regular kind of
clarify.
socks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, ones on your foot. We will wash those and reuse those, but usually for underpants or anything that goes in the bum or the front bum gets to go away with the actor.
Yeah, nice. I'll be honest, I steal socks every now and again from the sets.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
fair
quite
enough.
They have nicer socks than I usually can afford, being a struggling actor. So.
I don't know if that's true. We purchase
really?
a lot of Target and Kmart socks.
The most recent job I was on, Booty. There's a little shout out if you want to sponsor us here, Booty. Booty socks, really fucking comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
good
I
to
stole
know.
quite a few pairs from that job that shall not be mentioned.
Amazing.
So with costuming as well, I presume that you have to get quite close to a lot of people, maybe more so than is comfortable. Do you ever have any awkward interactions when you're getting a little bit too
I mean,
inside people's personal space?
so many. But one stood out to me when I was doing costume standby, which is basically my job is to be on set and to keep an eye on all the costumes and make sure everyone's in the right thing for the right scenes. And there was this one feature film that I was working on, and he's a well-known actor, Australian actor, and there was a scene where he would get a bit dusty and dirty, and then so I was just undusting him.
Okay, yes, the classic undusting,
Yeah.
the well-known Australian actor, yeah.
Yes. And when you've worked on set or just in the costume department for so long, like you start to look at people just as their clothes. It's like you're just looking at walking clothes.
Yeah, you're
And
not so much concentrating on the person, maybe.
True, which
as
is
the item of
probably
clothing.
a fault. And you forget that, yeah, there is a human inside the clothing.
Yeah,
that is
well,
walking.
usually, yeah.
Yeah. And so on this particular day, we're outside, and then I was just dusting him down, and I'd dusted his front crutch.
Oh, opposed to his back crotch, of course, but yeah.
And so it's just dusting his jeans, and then, like, when you're dusting someone, it's a little bit forceful.
Oh, I mean, to
try and get-
heavy Australian dust as well.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest to get in costumes. Yeah.
So when I, flicked the zip
No, please
part
do
of
say it. Yes. No. No, I think we can use our imagination there. His front crotch. Yeah.
Yes, the zip part of the jeans.
Yes.
He kind of like stepped back. Well, hey, you got to be gentle with the package there.
Now, I was saying that obviously the Australian industry is getting way better. This was presumably before we had any of these guidelines. So Sally
That is correct.
can be cancelled for this, and I do suggest that you all come after this podcast. Yeah. No, but honest mistake, and it does happen as
Honest
well.
mistake. But I felt so bad, and he was so kind and so
Yep.
generous about it. And he was like, and he just made jokes about it for the rest of the day. But
That's nice. And it happens all the time as well, especially if you don't know, if you're not in the industry. Turnover, which is like the time for it takes to like reset between a take. So you'll do one take and then there's usually a frantic rush to get into another take. So costuming's usually one of the last things that gets a look in
Yeah.
they're following you around trying to dust you off, and you're trying to get notes from the director, and then you're
Yeah.
trying to find like, oh, right, so I need to do this and this. So like there's so much stuff going on. So there's like costuming and makeup are usually frantically trying to touch you up and reset you and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I don't blame you for doing it by accident as well. It definitely does. And there's always
Thank
people
you.
patting you down and trying
Yeah.
to make you look better than you actually do in real life.
But I tell you what, now as an actor, now
Yep.
that I'm on the other side of the camera, I'm so okay with it. I'm so used to it, and I just kind of let them do their thing. Whatever
Yeah,
they
I
need
know.
to do,
It's a
and
weird
then-
thing as well, having so many like people in your personal space. But
Yeah.
and usually people are pretty respectful as well, and you can always say if you're not comfortable with something as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had the same thing with that as well. I was recently doing a stunt job, and the main actor was kicking me over in the mud. Almost 2 days straight, I think it was. But predominantly it was his stunt double that was kicking me, who I'm very good friends with, and we train together a lot, and we know each other's, I was going to say bodies really well, but we know each other's, we know how to work with each other, okay? Jeez.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, thank you. And every time he kicked me where he was meant to.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the chest. I had a big armored chest plate on, and he was kicking me there, and I was going down each time. And then when we brought in the actor for his shots, he was kicking me, but not quite as high each time. So almost every single take, he was booting me straight in the crotch.
Oh no.
And this was in the middle of like the Australian bush, so it was very
Yeah.
dirty, and we were the character I was playing was very pristine and couldn't ever have dirt on them. So every time I was falling over, 3 costume assists were coming up and patting me down and washing me and wiping me and everything like that. So after each time I got booted in the crotch, they came up and saw a nice big footprint there and politely handed me a rag to clean myself with.
Oh, see, like those are professionals,
Yes,
right?
no,
there.
those are the
No,
ones that know it. This is why
Don't-
Sally can't work in a wardrobe anymore. She's been
This is why I
blacklisted.
quit wardrobe. To be honest, yeah, this is yep,
Yeah, no. But again, it
the
happens.
real reason.
What happens? Do definitely go after Sally after this stuff, I have
No,
to say. But no,
definitely
no, I'm
definitely
joking.
don't come after
And it
me.
happens as well. It happens. But since making the move into acting, though,
Yeah.
you find that you've embarrassed yourselves in auditions where you're constantly driving home and thinking, oh my God, what the hell did I just do there? I can't believe I want to be in this profession. What is wrong with me? Why did I do that? Or is that just me?
Well, do you know, I probably haven't been in it as long as you have, so I feel like the being able to have worked in costume as crew for as long as I did, I feel like that's helped me get out all the nervousness.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because like when I first went on set, early on in my career, like every new project just felt like, holy shit, there's so many people moving.
It's so daunting.
so busy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on. And like, I'd just be nervous. Like, are we on yet? Are we on yet? Like, have I got something to do yet? And people are like, chill, it's fine. Lighting is setting up. Just, you're fine. Like,
There's so many
nothing's
people
happened
moving
yet.
around all the time. You're like, I have to be doing something because people
Yeah.
are just going to be staring at me otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm really glad that I kind of got all that nervous energy out, and I now know what each person does on set, and I don't
Which is
feel
massive.
intimidated.
That if you're
Yes.
like budgeting,
Budgeting,
no,
bludgeoning,
blooming-
bludgeoning.
blooming actor. There we go. My English is not my first language. Yeah, if you're a starting out actor, learning what everybody does on set, so when you get there, you're not completely overwhelmed, and you know who to
Yeah.
ask things to as well. Such a massive thing that I find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I suppose over the past couple of years, with self tapes becoming far more prevalent now as
Yeah.
well, is nice because if you really embarrass yourself, you can just stop the recording and
Yeah.
re-record it again.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, when you were in the room all the time for every single commercial audition,
Yeah.
pretending to shave with a pen or sitting in a fake bathtub,
Yeah.
which is just a couch, and pretending to wash yourself with money, I don't know. I found I embarrassed myself almost every
On
single
a regular
audition.
basis. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really didn't. Yeah, I don't miss those days so much. I mean, I do
Yeah.
like being in the room with other people,
Yeah.
but my God, I did this one for, it was back, I'm from Scotland originally, so this was 13 years ago. I know, right? I know.
I had no idea.
I know, thank you. Sally's also a comedian, in case anyone didn't realise there as well.
Yes, I do improvs. Thank you very much.
She does. I would not suggest checking it out. No, I'm joking. Of course, please do. We'll get to that at the end.
No, please don't check it out. We'll be embarrassing ourselves on set regularly.
Well, yes, there you go. So more stories for us. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But I did this audition for, they're not as around the place here, or I don't even know if I've seen any, but holiday parks. Where you turn up and it's a massive caravan park, and then they've got the large entertainment space in the middle.
Yeah.
So I did one when I was about...
They're just called caravan parks.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. They have massive entertainment zones back in Britain. Or you can even just go along and there's all these cabins and they've got like a theme park inside there as well. But like theme parks being very polite for what it actually is.
Yeah.
Dodgem cars that were built in the 60s. But I had to do an audition for one of those theme parks, which I won't name because I can't remember the name of it. But they asked me to be one of the entertainment acts for the night, and I had to do an audition. I didn't know what it was before I turned up, and they just dropped it on me when I got there, and I was 19 or 20 at the time, probably. Didn't know what I was doing, so I just pretended to do a striptease for the one casting director that was in the room. I am so happy this was before they started recording a lot of these as well. My God, I just made the and then pretended to do a striptease, and then he was like, yeah, okay, I suppose they do have that at some of the holiday parks. And I was just like, I left there and I was like, well, not only am I not getting that job, but I am never going to go to a holiday park again, because that is the most embarrassing thing I'd done up until that point in my career. But yeah, my God, commercial auditions, for whatever reason, really just, they flip something in my brain where I'll either make a great impression or do one of the worst things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've missed out on a lot of those in-room auditions because by the time that I actually started auditioning, I don't know, I was around for a few months and then we were locked down. So then it was self-tapes for the most part.
Yeah, well, lucky you.
Lucky
COVID's
me.
actually done one good thing for us in that case.
It has,
They got
yes.
Sally booked on far too many commercial auditions.
Yes, that's my half my income.
Yeah. Well,
on
it's
the
a humble
commercials.
brag for anyone there as well. Just FYI. And that's her pretending to smoke a cigarette in a purely audio medium. I reckon that's probably a time to finish up there in that case. Thank you very much, Sally, for stumbling through with her first ever episode of Won't Be Forgetting That. How about you tell us where we can find you? What can we see you? Anything you've got coming up?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. That's going to be a very nice thing to listen to as well there. All right, where can we find you on the socials?
You can find me at I am Sally Cheng on Instagram and
CHENG.
that is
for
correct.
The Cheng part. Yes.
And also I will be on a little show called Safe Home, which is on SBS in one of the episodes.
Yeah, that'll
you
be
can
at
find me
some
there.
point this year as well,
I
presumably
think
the start
I think
of the
it's
year.
coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I don't have a date, but I hear it soon.
Well, we'll check it out and we'll post about it as well on the socials when we
Sounds
find
amazing.
it. And Sally and I did a TV show as well 2 years ago now, so we can maybe
That
be in that
might
together
be
if it's
coming
ever
out.
released. Yeah. Otherwise, you can find me on Seb Muirhead, Muirhead for my surname there on all of the socials. Won't Be Forgetting That podcast is on most of the socials as well. If you do like this as well, please do give us a 5-star rating across all the platforms.
Woo.
Although this is the first episode, so I can understand if you're a little bit hesitant to do that. We'll be trying to do these fortnightly as well. But thank you very much. And thank you, Sally.
Thank you.